everybody? Richard Neese here with Weichert Realtors, the Space Place. We appreciate you guys tuning in to the Real Estate Rundown. Like I said, I'm Richard Neese. We got Dominic Gill over there making sure all the transitions happen, making sure we're putting the links in there. You need the information you need. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you, Nick Lee, Becky Gray, Shane Ray, my beautiful wife, Catherine Neese.
Happy anniversary.
Stole my thunder there. Happy 10-year anniversary, honey. We've got Amy Farr, George Griffin, Buck Rasco. Thank you guys so much for getting on here. Please like, please share, please comment. If you're not familiar with the Real Estate Rundown, it's a way for us to help good people get to a better place. We started this about 2 years ago, and it was a way for us to give information out like a first-time home buyer seminar. We talk with lenders, we talk with inspectors, attorneys, pretty much everybody involved in the process, builders. We've had tons and tons of folks on here. We've had state representatives on here. We've had mayors, and we've had tons of people coming out talking about the community, talking about how you can help in the real estate process. And then about a year ago, we started doing March for Good People. During the month of March, we're bringing on nonprofits to help them spread their message, tell people what they're doing on a daily basis to help the community. And that community may be Coleman, it may be Hartselle, it may be Arab, North Alabama in general. There's so many good people around here, and we're blessed to have them. And today I've got a very, very good person here. We've got Mr. John Jackson with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Thank you, John, for coming on.
Thank you, Richard.
Do you want to tell the folks a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what you guys are doing with Sleep in Heavenly Peace? Maybe just a quick intro, and then we can start digging into it a little bit.
Sure. So Sleep in Heavenly Peace is a national organization that through volunteers we build bunk beds to deliver to kids that normally are either sleeping on the floor or just bad situations, either couches or maybe having to sleep in the same bed with 3 or 4 siblings or a parent.
Yeah, and we're not talking about sleeping for 1 or 2 nights. So, I mean, it's folks that are in serious need, long term. Maybe they've got 4, 5, 6 people living in a small apartment, or I know you've got tons and tons of stories about that. But what's interesting is, I mean, you're not a carpenter by trade. No. I mean, you want to tell the folks a little bit about how God kind of pushed you into this or led you into doing this this great thing?
Sure. So about a year ago, I was sitting in bed, had my phone out looking through Facebook, and I came across a Mike Rowe video called Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
That's right.
And Return the Favor. And he was highlighting Sleep in Heavenly Peace.
And what is that exactly? I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I know some folks may, but what is the Return the Favor?
Return the Favor. Mike Rowe just goes around the country and highlights different organizations that give back to the community.
See, I bet he stole that idea from us. Is that what it was?
Probably.
The March for Good People? Mike, watch out. Sorry, go ahead, man.
But he highlighted Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and I'm not good at woodworking at all, but I like to play around with it. I was kind of looking for something, some way to serve, and so I thought, well, that'd be cool to get involved with. So I went on their page to see if there was a local chapter around, and the closest one was in San Antonio.
And this was a year ago?
Yes, it was right at the end of February,
right,
into March. But we saw that the closest one was in September. There was a button that said "Start a Chapter." Clicked on that.
The closest one was in San Antonio?
San Antonio, Texas. And at that time, there were 11 chapters in 6 states.
A year ago.
A year ago. And so, clicked on that, talked to my wife about it, felt like I needed to do it.
Yeah.
We was like, okay, but God's going to have to open some doors for us to do that, because I had to go out to Twin Falls, Idaho. That's the headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
And do some training out there.
Now, did you go in March? I mean, you're talking about Idaho.
I went in April. Like right at the end of
March. A lot of snow going on there?
There was snow. When I left, there was snow on the ground, and I had to go to work in Orlando. So I left with snow, and
it's not snowing in Orlando, I promise you that.
Yeah, so
you went up there and did the training, and I mean, was that a pretty intensive thing, or was it?
It was just 1 day.
Okay.
It was 1 day training, and there were maybe 10 other folks there, and like I said, that was 11 chapters. Today there's 137
That's
chapters
incredible.
in 40 states.
I'd say the cool thing, I'm sure that Mike is a big part of that by highlighting that and putting that in your heart and a lot of other people. So it's amazing how you can do a small thing like that for him, because I mean, he could have done tons of things. You could have donated millions of dollars, all this stuff. But by highlighting that, now there's how many chapters you said?
137.
Oh my gosh! And you said
40 states.
We've got one other one just recently in Alabama.
Yeah, and
right?
Gaston, the folks there went this weekend to do the training like I did.
Yeah.
So theirs is coming online. So that's going to serve a lot of this area, the Arab area.
That's pretty cool. So we got a bunch of folks jumping on here. Craig Riddle, Dustin Hembry, we got Vicky Dawson, Sondra Gillian, Lee Adams, Tommy Morgan, Brandy Shiflett. Thank you guys so much for getting on here. Please share, please comment. If you got a question for John, just let us know. If you want to know how you can be involved, if you want to know how you can donate, we're going to go through that stuff. But if you're just tuning in, John is the is it you and your wife, or is it you?
Yeah,
the founder of Sleep in Heavenly
president,
Peace.
I guess,
Okay,
for the Hartselle chapter.
I got you. So they're building kids. They're building beds for kids in the local area. How far are you guys going out to deliver these beds?
So with Hartselle being, because I live in Hartselle, Hartselle's the center. We go out 50 miles from Hartselle, which is pretty much North Alabama down to Jasper.
What's the farthest bed that you've taken?
Probably up around Elkmont.
Okay. So you're building these beds, and I kind of talked to you about it. It's not necessarily a custom build. I mean, you guys have a very defined process so that even a guy like me that can barely drive a nail could come in and help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A few weeks ago, we had a build, and we had a team of 9-year-old, 8-year-old sophomore
And now you're
girls.
making me feel bad.
They came in, and they were able to do. It doesn't take.
Yeah.
The only part that really needs a little bit of skill is the cutting, because if you start
I
good,
can't
you
cut a
can end
straight
good.
line. That's right. Well, I'll leave that to Dominic, or I'll let you guys do that part. But
And
just
whenever he says, he doesn't know swing a hammer, you should have seen him with a drill.
that's very true.
Putting together those
That's very true. I'll tell you, I put the desk together backwards
no.
when I was doing it, and I got to the point where we were about to put it all together. Dominic wasn't here for this, and I said, hey, you know what, this ain't my day. I put it back down. I called one of the guys that knows what they're doing. I tried even reading the instructions. It didn't work, but apparently it's so easy that I could do it. That's pretty impressive. So you're. Tell me what the real need is for you guys. Obviously, we want to be able to help you. We believe in helping good people get to a better place, and you guys are obviously doing great things. You're helping young adults, kids with beds. But what can we do to help you? I mean, are you guys looking for donations? Do you need more manpower?
So it's kind of two-tiered. So everything we do it's 100% donation.
Okay.
So it all stays here in Hartselle, North Alabama. So like I said, we're looking for volunteers. We're looking for sponsors that want to sponsor a build, maybe a
So
company.
let's say I'm sponsoring a build right now. I want to sponsor the next bed that comes through. What kind of monetary donation is that?
So a single bed, which that's the wood, the hardware, new mattress, new bedding, pillows. It's $150 for a single bed, or $300 for a bunk
bed. Now, can we paint that yellow and put Weichert on it? That's
if you could get the family to say yes,
I'm just kidding.
We'll let you do that.
Well, I want to go ahead and say right now that I'll sponsor the Richard Neese will sponsor a bunk bed for the next. I know you were looking at about eight families waiting, right?
80
or 10, 80
There's
families
80
waiting.
families.
So I'm going to sponsor a bunk bed for that,
Awesome.
and we'll be down to 78. We've got a lot of folks that are local business people in Coleman and Hartselle that watch the show, or at least kind of tune in casually. Do you guys need hardware? Do you need lumber? I mean, what can they help with?
So we need 2x4s, 2x6s, 1x4s. That's basically the gist of the headboard and the side rails of the bed. We need lag bolts and just number 2 wood screws to put them together.
You. So you guys, I guess you have a materials list, and it's going to take this many bolts, this many.
Yeah, we got a
2x4s,
material
1x4s.
list I can send out if you want to do 10 beds, 10 bunks. We just change that number, and it shoots out exactly what the need is. The materials.
Well, the cool thing is that I work with, and Dominic's family, they've got several builders in their family. I work with Silva Enterprises, Geronimo Silva, a great Catholic man that I'm sure he would want to help in this type of thing. Doverly Construction, some of those guys have been in the ministry before. So I'll reach out to them and see if they'd like to donate some materials or what they'd like to do to see if we can help on that side. So we've got that piece. We can sponsor beds. We can send in materials. Where do I show up if you guys want me to carry things around?
So we try to have at least one a month called a build day.
Okay.
Our next build day is March the 30th. It's over in Decatur off Highway 20. If you follow us on Facebook,
Yeah.
Sleeping Heavenly Peace Hartselle, I'll have the information on there. But we have build days, and that's where people can come, and we just put them to work.
How many people do you guys usually have, and how many beds do you build on these days?
We've had as many as probably 6 kids that needed some service hours
Yeah.
at the local school. They came to my front yard. We built 6 bunks right there.
Nice.
The last build we had 80 volunteers. We built 40 beds
That's
in
impressive.
2.5 hours.
That's
And so
impressive.
we can adjust to whatever.
Is that standard? I mean, you guys usually have 30, 40 people. Is there?
Yeah, it varies depending on a lot of times like a company can sponsor a build, so it
Yeah.
would be just their employees. So it could be 15, could be 100.
So you can make it a corporate event. I got
Yes, you can make it.
Okay. I know you guys have several local businesses that support you in that. Lowe's was one that you had mentioned. Do you guys have any other sponsors you want to give a shout out to that are supporting you?
Gobble Fight there in Decatur.
Okay.
Quorums.
Yeah, Quorums, they've got some building supplies out there.
Yeah,
They'll definitely take care of
Quorums
you.
has been real good. He's done a couple of builds for us. Lowe's in Decatur, Hartselle, and Athens.
Oh wow.
We've had some mattress. Overstock, Alabama has donated some mattresses, and just there's been a lot in the community.
Sure.
Just different.
So talking about that community, you were telling me a story that's disheartening, but it's also encouraging. You want to tell the folks a little bit about your storage unit dilemma?
Sure, yeah. So at the beginning of February, I went over to, we have 2 storage units there in Hartselle, and went over to put some pillows in it. And when I opened up the storage unit, almost half of our bedding was gone. Someone had broken into it. I went down to the second one. I had our tools and stuff in it. I opened it up, and all the tools had been gone. So this is on Friday, that first week of February. I had to go out of town, and we were planning that build that we had 80 folks at that following Saturday. So here we are. I got no sanders. All my drill presses are gone.
Sure.
We had some drills, but starting that Friday, going all the way through to the next Friday, we ended up getting all of our tools back. Not the same
new
tools,
right?
donated.
They might have been the same tools.
Right.
You know?
These were brand new tools. We had individuals to step up,
That's
say,
awesome.
"Hey, let's go shopping."
Yeah.
And so,
And we'll pick up a drill, or we'll pick up a sander.
So
I got
we
you.
were better off a week later. Then so that's what the Lord took that.
That's
and
awesome.
Just showed out.
So we've got John Jackson on here with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Please like, please share, please comment. We're trying to spread the message. These guys are doing great things for kids in the community in North Alabama. They are located. Do you guys have like a home base? Like, do you have an office, or is it you basically just come together on the build days once a month? And
So that's our, like I guess you say headquarters is my garage.
Awesome.
And,
Lots of good things happen in
right,
garages.
right.
I'm telling you.
And,
That's where a lot of companies have been founded. So.
Yeah. So our goal, I guess, as an organization would be to have a place that we could call our own. Of course, that's going to have to be donated, or until we get to the point where we have enough donations to do that. Right now, the guy's letting us use his building. He's still going to lease it. If he says, I got to lease it, we got to get out. So it's that kind of thing. But for the most part, our headquarters is my house in Hartselle.
And then you guys, he was saying earlier that you go within 50 miles to deliver these beds. You have the build days once a month where you have volunteers come from, I mean, are they pretty well from all over?
Yes,
or is it just in Hartselle, Coleman, Decatur area?
For the most part, you have some, we've had several from, like I said, Gaston, the people that wanted to start.
Yeah,
so they came up to see what it's about.
That
There's
makes
a lady in
perfect sense.
Florence that's wanting to start one.
Yeah.
So
John, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, where they can find information. We've actually had folks watching from Nashville, from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I actually had one of my battle buddies from the military that we went to basic training with that watched, and he's down in South Birmingham. So there's folks from all over. How do they find out more about the program?
So you can go to the national organization website, is www.shpbeds.org. And you go on there, there'll be a map of where all the other chapters are, so you can look in your location and see, and there's contact information there. For us, you can go to our Facebook page, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, Hartselle. And we've got all of our contact information on there.
Is there a way to donate directly?
Yeah, there's
through
a
there?
donate button. If you click on, if you go through Facebook, there's a donate and it goes straight to us. If you do it through the website, you'll have to make sure you
Yeah.
put the right chapter on there. If you want it to come here, if you just want to do general, you can do that.
So let's say we've got some, Catherine said, how does a family child in need of a bed get on a waiting list?
So by going on that website, shpbeds.org, and there's a link at the top, a button that says request a bed.
Okay.
If they have internet access, they can do it. If you know them and they give you permission, you can refer them. That's what some of the counselors at the schools will do.
And then you work with DHR, you work with counselors, you work. So a lot of
Sure.
times that's how you get the information about
Right.
the child needing it.
Right.
I know you've got tons and tons of stories about it, but are families usually receptive about this if it comes from a DHR worker or something like that? Or how does that work?
It's they're pretty receptive, very thankful.
Sure.
A lot of times we coordinate the deliveries with, because they may be Hispanic, and
That
the
makes sense.
communication there's a little
Right.
bit. So
Yeah, so they want to understand what's
they're
going
an
on,
asset
so
to have
everybody's on
that.
the same page.
Right.
That makes perfect sense. So let's say that Walker Brothers or Bittner Brothers or one of the local construction or hardware companies wants to deliver some lumber to you. How are they going to be able to make a donation like that? I mean, they just coordinate with you and call, and you pick it up. They take it to your house and
we
put it in
can
front of your
pick it up.
garage so you can't pull out. I mean, what
we
are we
can
doing
do
here?
whatever. We can do that. We can go get it. We have some trailers that if they want to do that, we'll be more than
got you.
happy to
Well,
run over
I
and
know
get it.
there's so many folks in Hartselle, Coleman, Arab, in this North Alabama area that have big hearts. You know, God has blessed them financially or through business or whatever by doing the right thing, and so they don't mind one bit giving back. So I'm sure we'll see some donations come your way as far as that goes, so you guys can get those 80 beds filled. You said March 30th is the next one.
30th.
Do you guys have enough materials for the 80 beds?
We're getting there. We've got a couple of other builds through, like Decatur Baptist is going to do one 2 weeks later.
Okay.
So we're hoping by the end of April, going to May, we'll be caught up.
Right.
That is our goal for this year. It's not how many beds we build.
Right.
It's to be ahead of the request.
I got you.
Because right now some folks are having to wait a month or two,
I see.
and we want to be able to, as soon as we get a request, within that week, that kid has that
Sure.
bed.
Yeah, and that's huge. I know that the requests are always going to be coming in, and it's hard in any kind of nonprofit, whether it's canned goods or beds or whatever the case might be, to stay in front of that. But you've got great communities around you that are going to support you. John, I appreciate you coming. If you'll give the folks one more time, tell them your phone number or what you want to use for that, and then how they can get a hold of you.
Okay, again, you go on our website if you want to request a bed, or just see if there's one chapter if you're in a different state. That's www.shpbeds.org. You can go on our Facebook page, Sleep in Heavenly Peace Hartselle. You call me at 256-616-6784. If I don't answer, leave me a message and I'll get back
absolutely.
to you on that one. Or you send me an email at john.jackson@shpbeds.org.
If you guys have any questions, you give them a call. If you want to hit us up on Facebook and go a direct message, we can get it to them. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, John, for coming on. We hope you guys have a great night.